it. Previous sessions are also there from the last batch. They are there, but let us see it. See, Italian opening. Let me not play. It's a very exciting opening to play, and yeah, because there are a lot of tactical ideas. Okay, let me see what is there on the chat. Yep, there were 75. In fact, there were 76 participants, which was a very nice thing to have last week Sunday. So yeah, thank you to all of you who have brought in your friends, relatives, etc. So it was a grand success. 76 participants is massive. So good, thanks. And I hope in the next tournament we will have cross 100 hopefully. Huh? So good. All right. So that is that. Okay. So let me go back to my video. I will pin my video. And I will keep the chat open. Okay, try to use the chat. Okay, all right. This is all right. This is chat is there. Okay. So what we are going to look today is the Italian opening. Okay, and Italian opening. Why? Because it was one of the first modern openings to be studied when the modern rules of chess were created in the Europeans. And it leads to some very exciting games, very fast attacks, both from white side or black side. Okay, and why it is called Italian? Because the Italian players, if you know, I think Greco, the name of Greco you might know, who was a very leading player, and there were many other Italian players like Roy Lopez, etc. So they were at the forefront of the game back in the 15th century, probably also 16th century. Yeah, I mean 15th, 16th, 17th, you can say. Italians were at the forefront. Okay, so and they used to play this opening, so that is why it is called an Italian opening. Okay, Shreyas has joined. Fine. So we will see this opening, and so it starts with e4, e5, right? We know these moves to be a good moves, right, for both sides, right? And then knight f3 and knight c6 for black. Okay, and then white develops his bishop on the what is called as the Italian diagonal. Okay, bishop to c4. What is the idea? It is the bishop is directed against the f7 pawn of black, and where a lot of attack can happen. f7 is a weak point. Rushad, you have raised your hand. Do you have any question? Okay, maybe it is by this one. Fine. So this is the idea. Okay, and black also plays similarly. Black also plays his bishop out. Okay, so this is when then what this specific opening is called as then gioco piano within Italian. If he does not play this, then yeah, there can be other openings. But yeah, bishop to c4, bishop to c5. It is what do you call Italian opening gioco piano. And so there are now. What is the idea behind this? What does white want to do? White wants to push his c3 pawn and then play d4. What is the idea? Let me put it on the board so that you will know. White wants to get a big center. Okay, white wants to get a big center. I will show you what I mean. Analysis board. Let's take it. Analysis board. Okay, white is playing e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and bishop to c4. Okay. And black plays bishop to c5, and white's first plan is to play c3. Why c3? Now you might say, oh sir, you told that c3 you should put your knight on c3. Yeah, that is correct. Normally you would want to put your knight on c3, and there is nothing wrong if you play knight c3.
Excuse me, sir.
Hello.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Usually, sir, I put my pawn to c3. I don't put my knight to c3. After my pawn is gone, I put knight to c3, or I go the other way. Knight to a3.
But what is the idea behind c3? You have to know. It is not just to play. After that, you can.
The center.
After that, the idea is that white wants to play d4 after this, right? White wants to play this here. on the next move and attack
That's
the
why it's being supported by the pawn instead.
pawn. Yeah. So if black is forced to exchange really, and then white will exchange back with the c3 pawn, and then he will have e4 and d4 pawns. Okay, at the big center. That is what is the idea of white. Okay. So if black plays very weakly, for example here, okay, if black plays something this one, right? I don't know. I mean, let us say black plays some weak move like this. Then what white gets is d4 attacking the bishop. If it moves, then anyway you will win this pawn because the bishop, pawn and knight are attacking. So black has to take it, and if you take it, now it becomes a very, what do you call it as, very good center that white gets. Right? It is connected pawns in the center, and black does not have any pawn. Black's bishop is attacked, and even then, black is still slightly okay if plays bishop to b4. Okay, bishop to b4, because he's keeping it active, and then he will either forcing an exchange either with bishop to d2. If white plays bishop to d2, then also he can exchange. Or if you place the knight here, then the knight is pinned, and then he will have some counterplay. Okay, black will have some counterplay. But if you do not do these kind of things, then black can get steamrolled. Okay, and what is the example that is there is, yeah. So normally in this, when c3 is played, right, black plays energetically by playing knight f6 because he is attacking the e4 pawn of white, and he knows that white cannot defend it with knight c3. Okay, so this is the best move for black, and he's saying, okay, you threatening this. So if you white plays something like this, defending the pawn, then black also plays d6, and he's happy because now his bishop is going to come out, and he can castle, and everything is okay. But many times what white does is, white says, so there is a sacrifice that is involved. Okay, here white plays d4. What is he saying? If your bishop goes back, right, then I'm going to completely what do you call it? See, what happens is, if bishop goes back, then white will take it, and black taking it is not good enough. Okay, why? Because
the knight is at a, yeah.
Check, and then white is going to kill the knight back. So net, even if the pawns might be equal, okay, no, white is one pawn up, and not only that, the black's king is completely crushed in the sense his castling is gone and he's out in the open, etc. Right? So this will happen. So this is the reason why.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
There's one more disadvantage in black playing for white. If black plays that and we don't give a check, so the disadvantage is the knight will go to f2.
No, that is a disadvantage of white. If white does not do energetically. For example, if you simply threaten something like this, it is not good enough. Okay, it is
a checkmate, and even threatening the knight.
Yeah, then black can still take this. Okay, so there are a lot of tactics, but then you cannot take it. But if you do this now, again, white can still become a piece up. You might think that white has taken nothing, but queen can take the, no, this after that black is to play, and black, if he castles to prevent the checkmate, then he can lose the knight. And if he does anything, if he tries to protect the knight and going here, then I mean,
he'll lose his bishop.
He will lose his bishop. So a lot of tactics like this happen. But you got the idea, right? White is both sides have to play carefully. But if the other side plays wrong, then you can get a lot of attack. Okay. So where was I? I was showing you about what does normally black do. Okay. Normally, so white does not play this. White does not play d3. So this is I will promote this variation. Normally black plays knight f6, and white does not play d3. White plays d4. Yeah, already we have got it here, d4. Okay, let me promote this. So this is the main line, and then black takes this pawn, okay, at this point of time, and white also takes this, okay. White also take this, and it is very important at this point of time for black to play bishop to b4, okay, check. Because if black simply goes back here, right, then white gets a crushing attack. White will simply push this pawn first. Now this knight will have to go somewhere here, either go back to b8 or go here, and then when that is then white pushes this pawn, right, then this knight is it has to go somewhere, maybe back or whatever it is, right, and after that white pushes even d6. So white gets a very crushing attack. Okay, I will show you, I will send you one game, you can watch it, okay, how. So it is very important for black to play energetically by bishop to b4, and then there is this sacrifice of the pawn. White plays knight c3. White can also play bishop to d2, okay, bishop to d2 white can play, and what is the idea is that it leads to an equal kind of a game, okay, this, because white is protecting this pawn, and now black plays
Sir,
d5.
can you go 2 moves back? Can you go 2 moves back?
Yeah,
Yeah. So here the best move according to me is d2, knight to d2.
knight to
I
d2
always
is,
say this. Sorry, knight
knight
to
to d2
c3.
may not be
Knight
a
to
great
c3.
move, because knight to
Sir,
e4.
knight to c3. I wanted to say.
Knight to c3 is, yeah, that's what I was saying. So knight to c3 is a standard move.
When I develop my bishop, I usually play knight to d2.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. They are equal games, but the what is the main point of attack is that knight to c3. White plays knight to c3, okay, and you might think that actually black is getting a pawn because his knight is pinned, okay, but it is a sacrifice of the pawn. Okay, it is a sacrifice of the pawn. On this, white plays castle. Now you might, I think so, everyone has to know this, okay, because this is what was discovered by Greco back in 1600s, okay. So about 400 years before us now. He discovered that it is okay to sacrifice this knight, okay. And why? Because there is a beautiful game, that entire game. If black goes ahead and further takes it, white takes it, and black takes this pawn also. Now black is like 2 pawns up, okay. But what is the great move that
Sir, queen can check.
yeah, let's go back. Yeah, here black is already 1 pawn up, and white is castling.
Pin the rook.
No, it is back to play. White has castled just now.
Okay.
So not yet time. So white is sacrificing another pawn here, okay, for attack. Okay. Black can play something like, black can play, black has other options, but let us look at the main option which people used to play, which anybody you will also want to play. Why not take another pawn, right? Now black is 2 pawns up and rook is attacked, right? This is the position. Now it looks like only thing is that white is ahead in development. So now I used to tell, right, why it is development is more important. So this is an extremely good example of demonstration of that. So what Greco did 400 years back and shocked that time all his peers by playing queen to b3. He's saying that, oh, I have already sacrificed 2 pawns, and you know what? You take my rook, I don't care. Okay. But if you take the rook, then what happens? What happens?
Checkmate.
Bishop into f7.
Bishop, not, there is no checkmate, okay, not checkmate. It is bishop into f7.
I said checkmate.
Yeah. It is bishop into f7, okay. And then what do you do?
Sir, knight to e1.
Check now. It's a check.
No,
Proximity
after
check.
bishop to f8, knight to d1.
There is no bishop to f8. You are getting all wrong. King to f8 has to.
King to f8.
Ah.
After this, knight to e1 is the best move. To kill the
No, knight to e1 is not a good move. Knight to e1 is certainly not a good move. It is, in fact, you know what?
bishop to, yes sir, bishop to a3.
No. Bishop to a3, then d6 will come. So here what white does is rook to e1 first. First rook to e1. Now, forcing the knight to go to e7. There is no other way, right? If king goes to f8, right, he is going to get then crushed
Easy
after
for
that.
a checkmate, yes.
So knight to e7, then white plays bishop to f7, then king comes to here. Okay. So when after this, now what does white do? White plays here. I will tell you. See, please understand, it's a very interesting game. Okay, very, very interesting line. White plays knight to e5. What is the threat? The threat is next move, white is going to move the bishop and he is going to threaten queen to f7 checkmate. And even if you block the bishop, the knight is also attacking f7. Both the bishop and the knight are going to cover f7, and the queen is going to threaten a checkmate along this. Okay, so this is what is white's idea. So black says, okay, let me get back another pawn first. Okay, and then I will kill your bishop. But white plays bishop to h5. Okay, now think about it. Now white is threatening queen to f7. Even if you take the black bishop takes the white knight, then also the white's bishop is covering the f7 square, and white queen will still go into f7 and checkmate. Right? So this is the threat of white. Right here, this is the threat. And what does black do? Black has practically only one option to block it. Blocks the queen's path by this. Okay, and then white plays queen to f3 check. Okay, queen to f3 check. So
Mate in one after this.
no, not really.
No, like the king has only one option to go to g8, king to g8, and then queen to f7.
Queen to f7, huh? Yeah.
Sir?
That's
Yeah.
a mate.
Wait. First of all, white can
Knight can block. Knight can block the check.
Correct. Knight can block it. Knight can block it, and it is not a checkmate. So
But
because
sir,
of which I think
Bishop can also block it.
bishop can also block it. That is correct. So bishop can also block it, and because of these reasons, so I made a small mistake. So earlier, let me go here. The what white plays is, yeah, go here, knight e5, and then when bishop takes this, white bishop plays not to h5 but to g6. White plays to g6. Okay, why? Because that's what he wants to control that square. Okay, and then black plays d5, white plays queen to f3, black plays bishop to f5. Black plays this to block it. Okay, when you play bishop to f5, then white takes it. Okay, white takes it. Now black takes this. Okay, black takes this.
Sir, I have a very good.
And black also takes
bishop
the bishop.
Sir,
Yeah,
bishop
no,
to
if
g6, excuse me, sir, bishop to g6 check, and then the king will move to g8, and then a checkmate by queen to f7.
okay, so it is not so easy. So just check it. Okay, so just check it. So if black, okay, first of all, somebody was asking what if black takes this bishop, right? Then there is this check.
Bad move.
Yeah, it's a bad move because now what will you do? Now,
Queen
now
e7.
if you see if white, there is nothing else to block. If king goes to e8, then it is checkmate. King goes to g8, then it is checkmate. If queen goes to f6, then this knight to e7 is a fork to the white and thing, right? So this will fork the queen and you will lose the queen. So because of this, black does not take the bishop, but black takes the knight. Okay, black takes the knight. Okay, and then
So then the bishop can move to
Bishop to e6, check. All right.
Sir, there are two methods to do checkmate here. Bishop to e6 or bishop to g6. Both are the same because the king cannot go to the e file then. It'll have to move to the G file if you play bishop to G6.
Yeah, but you got the idea, right? How white is. White also has got an option of taking this bishop here. Taking this bishop here. Okay. So then. So, but you got the idea, right? How much attack white has got. Now it is finished. Now I hope you understand. Now it is checkmate is going to happen now. Right? So I'm just going to go back because a lot of things happened. Okay. So let me just go back and look at and convince you all that the attack is very good. Okay. So we'll go back and we'll just see all the options again. Okay. So we started with saying that when black bishop captured the white rook, okay, and white coolly plays rook to e1, not bishop to f7, but rook to e1. This one is the this is the main move. Okay, and this also is ed4, cd4, bishop d4, knight c3, knight e4, white castles, allows the pawn to be taken, extra one pawn, and then attacks it. Okay. Sorry, your voice is very feeble. Can you speak louder or closer?
Closer for us as well.
No, your voice is very, very feeble. We can't hear you.
So it's closer for us, so he has to improve by coming closer to the mic, or if
Correct.
you are wearing a headset, please remove it.
Yeah.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah. Now we can hear you.
Sir, can you go back one move?
Back one move.
Yeah.
Okay, then we are already very back. Okay, here. Yeah.
Yeah, sir. After that, after the bishop kills the pawn, then the bishop can move to g5.
Oh, bishop to g5. You are saying this one.
Yeah.
This one. Yeah, it is. What if you? Okay, bishop to g5. Bishop to g5.
So is it a good move?
Knight to e7.
So then the knight can move to e5.
The knight can move to e5 will not help much because now white will castle. Sorry, black will castle now. Okay.
Sir, and then the queen can move to g4.
Queen to moving to g4 will not help you because d5 will come and attack your queen and at the same time attack the bishop. Okay, can you see this double attack? This is attacking here and this bishop is attacking to the queen. Okay,
Sir,
so
if the pawn is not moving forward, then the bishop can move to g6. White bishop can move to g6. And
no, but why? No, you cannot assume that black will make weak moves. Nah? Black will try to make the best moves or almost the best moves, right? So you can't make your study based on the thing that, oh, black will make mistake, right? So this is, wait, we'll go back. I think we have seen this. So the almost, see what we are looking at, these are almost very good moves for black. Okay, they are not blunders for black. So they are quite good moves. There's nothing wrong in here. It is just that it's slightly wrong and we are showing you what is the idea, because otherwise white makes a little bit mistake also. Then black can win it. Okay, but what we are showing is this. Okay, so at this point of time, white takes bishop takes f7, king f8, and now knight e5. Okay. So now look at it. If there is there any other move that you want to try for black? You want to try for black any other defensive move? See, I will tell you what is the idea. White wants to play bishop to g6 and then deliver checkmate by queen on f7.
So many times I do big blunders here and no one kills my queen in our chess tournaments. Like there was a Jewish piano kind of thing. In that I hung up my queen 4 times and no one killed it.
So that is because people are, I think, also is tensed up and they are not. But if they play with a cool head, then they will kill the queen, right? And you have to always grab this kind of opportunity.
After that, I realized.
Okay, hold on. Let us see this. So, is there any other defensive move that you can think? For black? See, let us say something like this, d6 like this. It does not help. Okay, because white plays bishop to g6. Okay, now white is still threatening this checkmate on f7. Now, what do you do, right? So again, it continues. So it does not really help. So you might say that, okay, what if white already plays d5? Then also, sorry, black plays d5. Then also white goes here. Okay, white goes here and starts threatening the. Now after this, the threat will be bishop to g6. It will be a discovered check, right?
Sir, but
Yeah.
right now black can also threaten white by one move, but it will be sacrifice of a bishop.
How?
Bishop to g4.
Yeah, white will very happily take it. No problem.
But then it will be slower and black can think of some
Yeah,
moves.
yeah, but check it out. It will not really. I mean, the mate will still happen. But black's best option here is what do you call? Is bishop takes d5, d4, and then white plays not this, but bishop to g6. Bishop to g6. Okay, bishop to g6 is the main line.
But now we can take a free bishop. I want.
No. What is a free bishop? There is a checkmate, boss. Checkmate on f7 is happening. What will you take the bishop? If you take it, I am happy for you to take it. Queen to f7 is checkmate.
You can take your bishop. I will take your king.
Even if you take the knight, then also I'm getting a checkmate here. Queen to f7. That is the whole threat. Both the knight and the bishop are covering the queen to allow you to come to f7. So the only way for black is to block it by playing d5. Right? That is the only way. And then white plays queen to f3.
3. Then maybe black can knight to f5.
Knight to f5. Yeah.
Kill
There
it
is
with the bishop. Kill it with the bishop.
Kill it with the bishop. Now.
Queen to f6.
Queen to f6 is going to be bad. Disaster. It may become.
So right now we can kill the bishop. We can bishop.
Huh?
For right now.
If you kill the bishop, right, it is going to end very soon. Immediately. I showed you. What is the thing? This game is over now. Okay, game is over. Because if you move the king, then it is checkmate. Anywhere, either you go here or there. And if you get your queen out to block it, then this knight will fork the queen. So this taking the bishop is out of question. Right? Taking the bishop is out of question. So, so what you need to do is black needs to do something else. Okay, black needs to do something else.
We have to move the king out of the file of where the queen is.
So if you want to go to king to g8, then that also does not.
Sir, move little bit outside that corner.
Where outside that corner? Where? King to d7. You tell the square.
No. King to e8.
King to e8 will be very much thank you. White will say very much thank you. Discovered check and attacking the queen. Okay. See, discovered check and attacking the queen. So it will be over. So there is nothing this. Then only thing that what actually what black can do is black can take this, but then white will take this bishop.
Bishop. Then we can black is out of options. It's going to lose.
Yeah.
Remove it, please.
Right. See, in fact, there are even more worse things. So that is actually black does not. So on this, black does not play the knight here, because actually one more thing can happen if the knight comes here, right? This bishop can join the party here and give a check. Now it is finished. What will you do? So it is also going to come back, or that threat is there. Okay, right now you can still play c5, but this whole there is a whole thing of this. So that is why actually black plays bishop to here, and then white takes this, and then black takes the knight. Okay, black takes the knight, and then what does white do now? So white can at this point of time take this either bishop to e6, or white can take this bishop. Okay, and now it is going to get really finished, because this bishop is now coming to e3 also, and this knight is already pinned. Anything moves, then it is going to become over, pretty much over very quickly, right? So that is the kind of attack that you get.
And this time black resigns, right?
Yeah, I mean, black's game is practically over. Okay, but please understand that this does not mean that the opening itself is bad. What was the thing? So this is what Greco discovered. Okay, Greco was like the world champion of 1620. Okay, so 400 years back. So he discovered this attack, but black did not just wait and sit idle, right? So black also kept on analyzing, oh, where am I making mistakes? So here, after castling, what black discovered is that, and black plays bishop to c3 and not knight to c3, and then there is a way for black to continue, and black does not lose. Okay, so there is I will tell about this in the next class. So but I hope you got an idea of both attacks for white as well as black from this. So this opening is not yet over. I'm going to teach the same opening more lessons next week. I will also point you to some videos. You can watch it.
Sir, I did not from the. Sir, I understand the first move, but why pawn to c3 that time? I was very confused.
No, pawn to c3 is that so that later on when black exchanges the pawn, then white gets this big pawn center. That's the whole idea. He wants to play d4, but if he does not play c3, then d4, e takes d, knight takes d. It will become like a Scotch game, and you will have only one pawn in the center. You will not have the both pawns in the center. White wants to have these two pawns in the center, and that is the reason white plays this. Okay, c3. That's the whole point. But what that allows is black to attack this e4 pawn, and e4 pawn becomes weak. So now either if you defend it, then again you are not going to be able to attack. But if you to attack, you have to sacrifice it. But white found a very good way to sacrifice the pawn and attack. Okay, so this is what all of you should know this opening.
Sir,
yeah,
I got an idea. Sir, in the game, knight took the pawn on e4, right?
Yeah.
And we just move the queen to e2 to stop the knight.
What?
Sir, can you kill the pawn right here?
How can you kill the pawn apart from the knight? There is no other way.
From the knight, I'm seeing from the knight.
Yeah, so that is what black plays, right?
Then move the queen to e2.
Oh, queen to e2 you are saying, huh? It doesn't help. It doesn't help.
Then next move, knight can be gone.
Yeah. I want you to take my knight. Please take the knight. Do you dare take the knight?
No. It will be no. The queen will be pinned to the king
Ah,
by rook 2, and then the only way to stop it is knight to e5 or bishop to e6.
yeah.
And
So and the moment black castles, right, his king is safe. Now you will not be able to attack. Okay. Now, if you decide to castle now, black will say very happy. I am taking this. Now there is no anyway. There is my king is not dead. Now you take it, and now this is black is winning this game. Okay, because earlier you had an attack against the king. Now there is no attack against the king. Simply you are 2 pawns down. Okay, so don't think that it is all. It is not easy. I mean, lot of you have to study the opening, and there are certain moves, and they are good because of very good reasons. I mean, okay, hundreds of years it has passed, and people have played all the openings thousands of times. Okay, so that is how it is.
And
Alright.
fold the opponent.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we are coming to the end of our thing. So today's session is over, but next week again we are going to look at the Italian game again. Okay, because there are more things to study.
Okay.
Okay.
So when is the arena?
Arena is starting at 10:30. Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop.